Thank you so much, Pat. It's an honor to be in this space with my colleagues from states across this country and, of course, different political persuasions for us to amplify, as was mentioned, an issue that does not get enough public attention. Right now, we are surrounded by so many political distractions and culture wars, and yet so much of it is intentionally designed to pull the public's attention away from what is public tax dollars being given to corporations who don't need it. And again, my name is Eskamani. I am proud to serve in the Florida State Legislature in the Orlando area. District 47 encompasses parts of the city of Orlando, Winter Park, Belle Isle, and Edgewood. We're about 30 to 40 minutes away from the theme parks in my district. And so we're home to a lot of powerful corporate actors, whether it's the tourism industry, utility companies, agriculture, including sugar. We are constantly having to push back against efforts by corporations to exploit loopholes and to pursue these secret deals under the guise of economic development. We all know in this space that transparency is essential to any public official and government body, and that transparency also allows us to hold one another to high ethical standards. And just to give you a few examples of how these secret deals have been conducted in the Sunshine State, St. Johns County, which is a suburbs of the Jacksonville area, approved a $24 million package last year for an unidentified tech firm. The city of Tallahassee has negotiated a secret multi-million-dollar incentive package for Amazon under the name of Project Cypress. Pasco County, which is over in the Tampa Bay area, just approved $1 million incentives for unidentified manufacturing company under the name of Project Lexus. And then, of course, last year, the Florida legislature extended a data center subsidy that was supposed to expire after 5 years. And so the legislature extended it for another 5 years. And despite my efforts to find out which company would actually benefit from this, it would not be disclosed to me. But we do know that whoever it is will buy land from a company that is owned by Florida Crystals, which is one of the giant sugar companies in our state. So time and time again, we see this race to the bottom by mega corporations to basically pony cities and counties up against one another or states up against one another to buy their interests into our region. That is a transfer of community wealth to large corporations, and the people who lose are our community members. Our inability to have a functioning public transportation system, the affordable housing crisis, our concerns with clean air and clean water, all of this is tied to a constant pattern of local governments and state officials giving in to corporate greed and continuously allowing these giant institutions to exploit our systems and to do so under a cover of darkness. And I do want to add, too, another example of why these programs are so problematic. In so many cases, money is being provided to companies that really have nowhere else to go if they're going to come to Florida. And I think some of the best examples are the theme parks. We've seen efforts to, with Universal Studios, able to negotiate $350 million corporate tax break with the state of Florida without anyone from the public knowing about it. And this was an incentive for Universal to build another theme park in Orlando. And to be clear, Universal would not and could not have built this theme park anywhere else. The entire intention is to attach it to their larger infrastructure they already have here in Central Florida. And the public only learned about this because a reporter happened to stumble upon an email that was sent seeking public records information about other records. And this one just happened to fall into the batch. So the secrecy hides the fact that it's big businesses and giant multinational corporations that are swallowing up most of these deals, not small businesses, not startups, not entrepreneurs, and the sort of companies that are least in need of being propped up by taxpayers, because in the case of Florida, they already benefit from a very, very low corporate income tax rate, loopholes to the point where only 1% of Florida businesses even pay a corporate income tax break. And 2 sessions ago, we gave one of the largest corporate tax breaks in Florida history. We started collecting online sales tax revenue, and instead of giving that revenue back to consumers, the Florida legislature used it to give another tax break to businesses. And so it's time that we eliminate these secret deals. And every year I have filed a repealer to remove the ability for local municipalities to do this. And it's really important that the public understand that secrecy leads to governments making more deals that they later will regret, not just because the approach is not sustainable when many businesses leave once the faucet of free money stops. But just to give you an example, in December, Daytona Beach City Commissioners approved a bunch of land use changes for a company, despite not being told what was prompting the changes. And a month later, they learned that it was for an Amazon warehouse that would generate 630 truck trips a day. And now they and their constituents are angry and want to undo the deal. To give you another example of how problematic this approach is, how it does not serve the best interests of our constituents. And if you are going to pursue these types of tax packages, to have transparency be the core approach, and to ensure that there's community benefit proposals, to ensure that there's wage guarantee, that there's hiring metrics, that environmental harm will be addressed and prevented. But again, with the current structure in play, that's not what happens. So we have to continue to amplify it. And again, I'm grateful always for the opportunity to help share these stories to a larger audience.